Live from the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, FATV presents coverage of Fitchburg State Falcon ice hockey. Falcons coming tonight with a 3-game unbeaten streak, looking to stretch it to 4 as they take on the Lancers of Worcester State in an all-Worcester County showdown. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in alongside Nola Patty. I'm Daniel Bolak. Happy to have you along with us here tonight. Falcons 9-7-1 in the regular season, 5-4-1 in the MASCAC, coming off a 2-2 tie against UMass Dartmouth, but winning the shootout and taking the bonus point. And after that game, Nola, it definitely felt like it was a win for the Falcons, even if it was only a tie in the books.
Absolutely. You know, that 6-game losing streak was really bringing down their momentum, but that game against Keene State, when they scored 2 shorthanded goals from Hunter Dunn off of feeds from Millette, really boosted their momentum. And then moving into that 8-2 win against Riviere, and then again with that shootout win, momentum seems to be swinging in the way of the Falcons. And if they can get it done here against Worcester State, go on a 4-game streak here, I think it'll be great for the program more into the postseason.
Absolutely. Going back to that game on the 25th, Jeremy Millette and Eloan Orme Lynch had the goals. Hunter Dunn assisted on both of them. Freddie Soderberg with 27 saves, including a viral save to seal the shootout. For Worcester State, 7-8-1, 4-5-1 in the MASCAC. They're not too far behind in the standings. 13 points for them to the Falcons, 18. They're coming off a 2-0 win over Riviere, the same team the Falcons dispatched a few days earlier by a score of 8-2. Brigham Newhold and Matthew Kowal had the goals. Anders Grogstad had the assists on both of the goals. Wyatt Friedlander had 31 saves for the clean sheet. And the senior from Lake Placid, New York is expected back in goal again tonight for Worcester State. We're going to throw it down to public address announcer Jim LaPointe for the starting lineups and the national anthem right here on FATV.
And your Fitchburg State Falcons. The NCAA, the MASCAC, and Fitchburg State promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team reps will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Please respect all athletes on the ice and enjoy the spirit of the game. Now it's time to introduce starting lineups. First for the visiting Lancers. At forward, a senior from Edmond, Oklahoma, number 15, Brigham Newhold. A junior forward from Royal Oak, Michigan, number 20, Anders Grogstad. At forward, a graduate student from Lynn, Mass, number 21, Brian Clarity. At defense from Draper, Utah, number 13, Christian Finney. At defense, a senior from Plymouth, Mass, number 25, Matthew Peckham. And in goal, a senior from Lake Placid, New York, number 1, Wyatt Friedlander. Worcester is coached by Jay Punsky in his second season, assisted by Richard Feely, Derek Alfalma, and Nevin Hamilton. And now your Fitchburg State Falcons. At forward, a senior from Sheffield, Mass, number 5, Oliver Cookson. A sophomore forward from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, number 13, Chris Zapata. A sophomore forward from Wake Forest, North Carolina, number 26, Jackson Collins. At defensive junior from Littleton, Colorado, number 2, Nolan Sargent. At defensive junior from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, number 15, Trenton Skaggs. And in goal, a sophomore from Harrison Township, Michigan, number 30, Freddie Soderberg. Fitchburg State is coached by Dean Fuller in his 41st season, assisted by associate head coach Tom Patty, assistants Chris Kine, Mike Chartrand, Josh Miller, Cam Isabel. Referees for tonight's game, Pat Sharon and Ron Morello, linesmen Simon Higgins and Ian Hoffman. Ladies and gentlemen, students, at this time, would you please rise and remove your caps as we honor our nation and the flag for the playing of the national anthem.
moments away from puck drop here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. The Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Lancers of Worcester State set to do battle for the second and final time in the regular season of 24-25. Daniel Bolak, Nola Patty here with you. Travis Falk on camera. Happy to have you along with us here tonight on FATV. Go over the starting goaltenders for the Falcons. I bet you a whole stroppany I never updated the stats that I had for Freddie Soderberg. So I can tell you, going into the UMass Dartmouth game, he had a 7-5 record, 294 goals against, a 909 save percentage, and 1 shutout. And those numbers were a little better after a 27-for-29 performance in the 2-2 tie. I definitely updated Worcester State's numbers, and Wyatt Friedlander making his 9th appearance, 8th start, 4-3 record, 306 goals against, 928 save percentage, and 2 shutouts, or so the statistics will let us know. However, we know from having seen through video evidence and our own eyes, when these two teams last played each other, a 6-1 win for the Falcons, Friedlander was credited with the entire game, except he got pulled after 3 goals on 9 shots. So the numbers are a little different than reality, but that's just what it is.
Falcons definitely looking to improve on their power play. It's been something that's they've been struggling with in the past games. So as this puck starts the game, it's definitely going to be something they're thinking about. Hope to be able to draw those penalties today.
We'll see how that plays out as the game goes on. Falcons in home white uniforms with the green numbers and gold trim. A takeaway and a whistle 16 seconds into the contest.
I think they're going to deem that one a hand pass on the Lancers. So the Falcons will get an opportunity to work this puck out into the offensive zone for the first time tonight. One thing to mention, if you're a Falcons fan listening in, Max Macchione currently back on the bench, number 29 in white. He was out with a lower body injury for most of this season, but is healthy back on the bench supporting his teammates, so that's always great to see.
He was on the bench on Saturday's game against UMass Dartmouth, back on the bench tonight, and we'll see if he's able to get back to game action soon enough. But nevertheless, that's one Macchione that's active. Mike and Marcus are still out of the lineup. Shot taken from the left side, turned aside by Soderberg. Some stick handling by Matthew Nizzolo. Now thrown around to the right side, kept in, knocked down with the hand by Cam Quigley. He had the goal for Worcester State in the meeting all the way back earlier in this season. That's his only goal for the Lancers this season, back on November the 23rd. That's sent it to the netting and out of play. Minute 3 gone. No score thus far, just 1 shot.
Falcons definitely going to have to keep an eye out for number 15, Newhold, as he currently leads the team in goals with 10 on the season, 5 assists, so he's totaling for 15 points. Definitely a playmaker and a goal scorer. He's not on the ice right now, but when he is on the ice, they're going to have to be very active and aware of where he is going.
Newhold scored against Rivier, that 10th goal of the season against the Raiders back on the 25th, the most recent game for Worcester State. Worcester State in the road blue uniforms with the gold numbering and the white stripe, and very large TV numbers on the sides as well. They're going right to left in this first period of action. Here's Jack Johansson with a shot stopped by Friedlander. Rebound, Eloan Orme Lynch is turned aside by Friedlander as well. Mateo Orme Lynch at the left point, trying to keep that in the zone, trying to knock it out. There was Quigley, now taken in the middle of the ice. Brady Carpenter skates it up. Carpenter takes the shot, maybe tipped onside, play off the backboards, and in a dangerous position, but Worcester can't quite jump on it. Falcons bring it up on the far side. Gaining the red line, trying to dump in was Halbig. That was knocked down on the near side. Luke Frigioni on the left side throws it around the boards. Toivo Kramer settles in the right half. Now Isaiah McKinney, stretch pass. Alexander Bove gets a stick on it. Would be enough to kill the icing anyway, but it ends up going on target, and Wyatt Friedlander will have to cover it up for a draw. 17:52 to go in the first.
Pretty back and forth game so far in the early minutes of the first period. It'll be interesting to see which team kind of takes the lead in this game, who starts to get the goals going. Obviously the Falcons had a lot of that momentum in their last game, but the Lancers have proven themselves worthy of a win in different games this season. So we'll see what they can kind of conjure up and if the Falcons can respond to that.
UMass and Worcester State is a slow starting team as well. This is a team that's been outscored 23-7 in the first period of games this season, and only 5 times out of 16 games have they gotten the first strike. However, when they do score first, they are a perfect 5-0. Nick Weber on the near side boards in the Falcons' end. feed it out to the far side. Toivo Kramer gains the red line, dumps in. Wyatt Friedlander behind his own net, around to the near side. Nick Weber, again trying to pick that out, but taken by Matthew Peckham. Peckham on this top line, well, defenseman for the Lancers. Kept it at the point, shot sticked aside by Soderberg. That one off the stick of Anders Grogstad. Right wing corner, Isaiah McKinney trying to get it out of the zone. Moving it up for Sammy Rennick. Rennick gains his own blue line, now the red, still pushing forward. Quigley trying to dispossess. Reinforcements come from Jeremy Millette, but the puck spits out of the zone to the red line. Nolan Sargent goes D-to-D to Trent Skaggs. Stretched up for Jeremy Millette, but he's dispossessed. Quigley's got it again, drops off behind the net, finds Charlie Yacht. Near side Falcons take it. Skaggs from the right point. Tries to throw in the corner. Goes off the legs of Grongstad. And near side Yacht. Around for Quigley. On the far side, Quigley. Moving up the middle of the ice. His pass is intercepted. And a break here for Nicholas Milhorn. He gets a backhand shot, and that's punched away by Friedlander. 4 minutes gone in this first period. Shots 3-2 in favor of the Lancers. No scoring thus far. Quigley behind the net.
Lancers have been having a hard time with those battles up against the boards. Falcons winning most of them. Just something just to keep in mind is, those battles along the boards, those one-on-ones can really make or break your offensive possessions.
Remember a couple of head coaches ago back in the Shane Toporowski era, that was one of the bread and butter there for the Lancers, was take the puck to the boards, battle against the boards, and try to win possession and grind out your opponents from there. Jack Johansson with the shot goes wide. Falcons had a couple chances earlier in this shift. Matthew Desolio get it to the red line. Jackson Collins settles at the red, retreats a little bit. Falcons will stretch it up on the far. Cookson taking in front of the penalty boxes. Moving it around the boards, takes an interesting hop off the Zamboni doors. Floats up into the air, lands in the slot, nobody there in white. Falcons keeping the zone from Halbig. Second effort will get it out of the zone. He's fighting for it, Matthew Kowal. Had a goal a few days ago against Riviere. Now the puck sent back into the Falcons' end. We'll try to move it out. Halbig spinning around in the right circle. Found a bit of space and now feeds it up ice. Hunter Dunn taking in the left wing corner. Goes for the wraparound shot. Stopped by Freelander. Rebound. Mateo Orme Lynch battling for it. Can't put it home. Now another shot from the left side. That goes behind the net. Ricochets to McKinney at the right point. Zapata back for McKinney. Trying to keep a hold of it. Active stick by Brady Carpenter dispossesses. It's floated back into the zone. 14-11 to go. First period, no score.
The Orme Lynch twins have been having themselves such a great season. Mateo Orme Lynch netting his first collegiate goal, followed by two more, having his first collegiate hat trick. His brother also getting a goal in another game, so they've really been working off each other so well, and just great to see them both striving in this new environment with the Falcons.
Yep. Both transfers from St. Scholastica out of Duluth, Minnesota. And when Mateo Orme Lynch got that hat trick last week against Riviere, I was actually surprised to realize that was his first goal. I thought he'd scored by that point, but he likes scoring so much he got two more in that one. Got a hat trick, 3 goals in a row, in fact.
It's just a testament to how hard they both work on and off the ice.
They've both been great contributors for the Falcons. Mateo with 11 points on the campaign, Eloan with 14. Lancers have it at the red line. Passed across to the right side. Can't be cleanly held by Frederick Pinnell. Falcons bringing it back in the offensive zone. Lost the handle on it. Martin Kulinski trying to feed it out between the circles. Down the ice it'll go. Falcons defenseman in pursuit. Kulinski coming in from behind for Trent Skaggs. Now Fitchburg on the far side. Kramer, drop pass for Beauvais. Tries to hit Weber, who had to stretch out to keep himself onside. Now, big old fight for the puck in the right wing corner. 4-5 players there. Worcester with 3 of them trying to win that puck against the corner. Finally dug out by Peckham. Move it out to the far side. Pass just a little too far ahead of Frederick Pinnell. Trying his best to keep control of it. It'll be dumped back into the Lancers zone. No icing. Lancers weren't quite sure about that at first, so they were a bit slow to the puck. Falcons will take it at the red line, dump it back in the zone. All clear there, and Peckham actually loses an edge as he tried to get to that puck. That gives an opportunity for Jeremy Millett to battle for it. Now Milhorn off the boards. Johansson, right point, holding onto it into the circle. Johansson tries to feed Millett in the slot, can't get his stick on it. Now throw from the left side, saved by Friedlander. He pokes it away, and it goes into the left wing corner. Milhorn takes it to the left point. How big with a shot, deflected on goal, stopped by Friedlander, and he's able to cover it up for a draw. 12:03 to go in the first. The Falcons, I believe, have had the last 5 shots in a row.
And speaking about shots, we've talked about this before in different broadcasts, but the Falcons' scoring is very much spread out throughout their roster. 19 of the 30 players on the team have scored at least 1 goal this season. Nick Milhorn leading the bunch with 8 on the season. So just incredible to see that every single player on the ice at all times is a scoring threat.
It does definitely speak to the depth of the team. And you mentioned 30 players. They just added a player the last couple of days, as Ben Zarnick's injury, I think, is a little too severe for him to come back anytime soon. So they added a goalie in Jake Candy, a junior from Newton, who last played for Framingham High School last time I could check, back in 2020. Had some great numbers, though, for the Flyers, who were a Super 8 team back when the Super 8 existed. And Candy's not dressed tonight, though. The Falcons at least healthy enough to dress 3 goaltenders. Alex Falkenhagen and Max Macchione, the reserves tonight for Freddie Soderberg. On the near side, here is Cookson, gaining the blue on the right circle as he was falling down. Got a pass off that Collins couldn't quite get to quickly enough. Another opportunity intercepted by Yacht. Lancers bring it up on the left side. Zolio around the board. Turn around, back, deeply acute angle shot on Soderberg. Tried to bank it off him. He was wise to it. 9 minutes gone in the first period. No score. Falcons skate up ice from Hunter Dunn. Keep the self-pass going with the pressure from behind by Fricchione. It's a bit too much. Falcons, though, able to keep control of it. Dunn got it back. Now to the left point. Sargent to Skaggs. Tries to find Dunn in the right dot. Couldn't cleanly handle it. He'll pass on for Eloan Orme Lynch. Trent Skaggs with the shot. Changed direction on the way, but it's off target. Now a wraparound chance. Score! Hunter Dunn got to it! And poked it in the near side post. 10:33 to go in the first. Falcons strike first.
Falcons with such great puck movement, again, winning those battles along the boards, just moving the puck around freely, passing it to the defense, getting it in. Hunter Dunn behind the net. That seems to be his sweet spot this season. He scored at least 3 goals from behind there. So great work by the Falcons to get on the board first, and we'll see how this momentum can swing and if the Lancers can get a response on here. We know that they can. We'll see if they do it.
5th goal of the season for Hunter Dunn. And I know the most memorable goal I remember Dunn scoring last year was, in fact, a wraparound in the MassCAC semifinals against UMass Dartmouth. That ended up being the only goal the Falcons got in the regulation 60. Well, Hunter Dunn opens the scoring for the green and gold. And so that 5-0 stat about Worcester State undefeated when they get the first goal, well, don't have to worry about that stat now. Instead, they have to worry about the 2-8-1 that they are when they don't get the first goal. The Falcons 8-2-1 when they're the first to get on the scoreboard.
One thing I love about the Falcons is how intertwined, I guess you could say, their defenders are with the play. As we can see, Trenton Skaggs just a few seconds ago taking the puck down that far side and able to dodge around another player to get that puck continuously moving. And Nolan Sargent here behind the net. They're just so active in the offensive end of things, and again, trickling back to all their depth.
A lot of great work by the Falcons in the last couple of minutes. They have the first goal halfway through this first period, and now Michael Imala trying to get on this loose puck. He backhands it on goal, and Friedlander makes the stop. If I recall, Imala had the winning goal the last time these two teams played here at the Wallace Civic Center.
Talk about that sophomore class a lot, as they had some incredible recruits come in and really just take over the program. I mean, a lot of these guys who came in last year's freshmen, now as sophomores, shining through and being the rocks and the core of this team. And Soderberg, being one of those freshmen that came in last year, earning the starting spot in today's game. He's been playing a lot more than he did last year. As we had mentioned previously, him and Macchione kind of went back and back together. Now he has taken the job on himself, had some relief from Falkenhagen in a few games, but kind of done the job by himself, and he's done an incredible job.
Absolutely, the sophomore, I remember talking with Coach Fuller last season, mentioned that was a huge get for them, a player that they'd been recruiting for a couple of years, trying to convince him to come to Fitchburg State. They were able to get him, and his play down the stretch when he had to be the guy after Max went down with the injury, and how he was able to step up and help lead the team to the conference championship game. But of course, it takes a whole team, and it's a huge sophomore class. 14 of the 30 Falcons sophomores. A shot taken from the right point, glove down by Friedlander. They battled forward on the left wing corner, and Mala trying to dig it out. Lancers were able to get it down ice just a little bit, but it's taken now by Toivo Kramer. Kramer taking the pressure from behind by Grogstad. Goes to Johansson on the left side, shot is blocked. Onto the right side boards, Lancers will get there first, but Clarity isn't able to get it out of the zone. Johansson keeps it in. Goes for Millette, tries to stretch it all the way across, but it ends up hitting off a Lancer and Brigham Newhold, as we mentioned, a player to watch. Now on the left side, Lancers trying to drive play. Sterling Nash, the sophomore from Seattle, had a touch on it, around the boards, goes to the right wing corner. Riquion trying to be the first to arrive. They got there briefly, could only nudge the puck along, and the Falcons take it. Stick down by Rennick on the far side for Guillaume. Will take it behind his own net. 8 minutes to go in the first period. 1-0 Falcons. Hunter Dunn's 5th goal of the season. Zolio with a shot on the drop pass there for Nash. It goes just wide of the cage. Macchione Soderberg may have gotten a piece of it though. They do put the shot on the board. Sent all the way down, Friedlander. Settles it at the goal line. Now skated up ice on the far side by Christian Finney. Gains the red, dumps in the left wing corner. Isaiah McKinney, first to arrive for the Falcons. Holding for a moment, here's Jackson Collins. Collins gains the red and backhands it into the zone. Friedlander has his hand up for icing, I don't know why. Now the puck migrates in front of the net, but no Falcons there to immediately jump on it. Lancers try to come back with a 3-on-2, but that pass forward by Cam Quigley just a bit too strong, ends up being put on target, and Soderberg's got it covered. 7:01 to go in the first. 1-0 Falcons.
Falcons definitely dominating possessions in this game, as we can kind of see they're leading in shots on goal, 9-4. And again, like I keep mentioning, it's those battles against the boards, it's the turnovers. Just feels like the Lancers are a little bit slow to wake up in this game, and I have no doubt that they'll turn it on come second period if they can't get it going in the first. Definitely something the Falcons need to watch out for and keep an eye on.
One of those key stats, 23-7. That's the margin of goal scoring that Worcester State's been involved with, and they're the ones with the 7. They don't play tremendously well in the first period of games, and when these two teams met back on November the 23rd, the Falcons struck 5 times in the first.
Lancers were able to keep them quiet in that second. So definitely they can turn the engine on and start going defensively. It's just a question of if their offense can start putting points up on that board.
Just takes a little while for the gears to get rolling. Here's Eloan Ormelich, has Mateo in the slot. Puts on the moves, can't get a shooting angle open. Pass up to the left point, now taken by Skaggs. Going forward, Mateo with the shot, that's blocked. Quigley getting in the way of that. He's been everywhere on the ice in this first period for the Lancers. Trent Skaggs now to Nolan Sargent. Sargent trying to find Eloan in the slot, got a tip on it with the stick, but not much more than that. And the Lancers dump it all the way down the ice. It will go for icing, not by very much. And once Skaggs gets to the hash marks, they'll blow the whistle with 5:55 to go in the first.
Seeing a Lancer come back out onto the ice. That's Peckham. Don't know if that was an equipment issue or what it was, but now back out onto the bench for the Lancers.
You know, sometimes I never even notice the players coming off the ice there, but
He snuck his way out.
Yeah, Matthew Peckham, the senior from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Not to be confused with the Plymouth and New Hampshire that the Falcons play in conference play, but only for the rest of the season, of course.
Yeah, Plymouth State and UMass Dartmouth leaving the MASCAC, going to the LEC conference, where they'll play in their school's conference.
Yeah, their home conference.
Their home conference.
I mean, they've just been crashing on the couch for the last 15 years. And now they finally built a home for them to play in. And so they'll be doing that starting next year. They'll be staying in football, though. There were originally talks to get them out there, too, but they've decided that it's best that they stay here for football, though. We're happy to let them keep crashing on the couch for that, at least. Shot from the right side ends up being blocked. That was off the stick of Brady Carpenter. Falcons take it back in their own end. Moving it up ice. Toivo Kramer gains the blue to the left wing corner. Grongstad trying to pin Bove into the boards. This is another board battle. A classic Worcester staple. 5 different players still trying to dig that out. Finally, Bove wins the puck. Gets to the left point. A shot thrown in the direction of goal, though, is blocked. Slammed off the boards by Brigham Newhold. Doesn't actually get very far. Kind of a dead bounce off those boards.
It's awkward. Sometimes you'll hit it at a weird angle and it'll just not give you anything off of it.
Put it this way, pool cushions, these are not. Now a takeaway there, an opportunity for the Lancers, they score! Brian Clardy, the graduate student, takes that feed deep in the slot and puts it past Soderberg. 4:31 to go in the first, the Lancers equalize.
The Lancers forecheck just too strong for the Falcons defense. So they're able to net their first one of the game, and we're tied up with 4:31 to go. I mean, they really started to turn on their offense, and this game is definitely not going to be what we saw the first time around when these two teams met.
Just took advantage of, maybe the Falcons were a little too lackadaisical getting it out of the zone. Took advantage of the turnover. They were able to feed Clardy, who was deep in the slot. Extremely high danger chance for the Lancers. Clardy gets the goal, his 4th of the season. Newhold picks up his 6th assist. Pair of business administration majors factoring in on that goal. Falcons will have the draw to the left of Wyatt Friedlander. Beckham wins the draw, can't handle it for that long though. Skaggs trying to go to the left side, looking for Rennick. Couldn't get a stick on it. Shane Peripheral skated around to the near side, gains the red, now the blue. Surrounded by 3 Falcons, his pass knocked down by Sargent back into the right wing corner. In the right corner is Mazzulio. Now at the right point, trying to pass it out for Peripheral. Now comes to that left point and a shot well wide off the stick of Luke Fricchione. Pass behind the net. 2 Lancers there. A pass goes nowhere, but taken by Jude Haughty. His shot goes well wide. Mazzulio misses the mark on that pass. Trying to make all the moves there with Sammy Rennick, but he was stood up there. Strong positioning by Haughty. Zolio on the left side, his shot is gloved by Soderberg. 3:24 to go in the first.
Lancers starting to catch up in shots on goal as they have 6 now. One of those resulting in a goal.
They've had the last few, and now, as you mentioned, they are starting to wake up a little bit. Falcons know they can't keep playing the same game they were the first 12 minutes or so. They've got to react and respond to what Worcester State's doing here, as they were able to rainbow that down the ice, settled down by Cam Quigley. He was under a little bit of pressure. Puck goes to the far side in front of the Falcon bench. Now Cookson digs it out from the far side, backhands it into the zone, but now taken from blue line to blue line. Johansson settles it. You can see him doubling back a little bit, thinking about what happened last time, as the Falcons did get a touch on that long dump in, and Friedlander had to pat it aside, dump back down the other way. That won't be on target. That will be icing. 2:52 to go in the first. Shots 9-6 unofficially in favor of Fitchburg State, but we are level at 1.
Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that these two teams are rivals, but in my opinion, I do feel like every single MassCat game is so exciting. There's so much physicality, there's so much energy in the building that these conference games, of course, they matter on the schedule. They matter, in postseason, but they also just carry some sort of weight with them.
Absolutely. And I would actually call these rivals. I mean, after all, there's that All Sports Award, the Sterling Cup, that is contested between these two teams, although Worcester State has won it for the last million years. But ice hockey is one of the sports where the Falcons often can steal a point in that. As that was thrown aside and now taken by Quigley. Skating around under pressure. The way they move around quickly, it almost feels like they're moving with their pants on fire. Grongstad drops it off for Newhold. Falcons will take it away, but it's going to be pulled down by Newhold. Now in front, great chance by Grongstad, stopped by Soderberg.
Great job by Soderberg just to hold his ground there, being able to read the puck and where it was going.
A dangerous opportunity, almost like what got them the goal. Just trying to take advantage of a turnover and get a player very deep in the slot. It's that top line for the Lancers. As a backhand shot by Newhold goes behind the net. Falcons try to get it out of the zone. They will do just that. Amala pokes it forward, goes all the way to the Lancer goal line near side with 100 seconds to go in the first period of play. Lancers, I believe, have had the last 4 shots on target. Speckham trying to make all the moves for the Lancers. They're not able to do much more than that. Falcons bring it up from the far side, stretch that down the ice. That will be ruled icing, as it was too far out of the reach of Peckham to be considered obtainable, and that was dumped in from behind the red line, so it will be given. Draw will come to one side of Soderberg. He's made 6 saves in the early going. His counterpart, Friedlander, with 8. Lancers have their second line on the ice, Zolio, Nash, and Peripheral. Falcons with slightly tired legs on the icing. Peripheral has it on the right circle. His shot is blocked. Too many legs in the way of that one. Falcons knock it out of the zone. Approaching 60 seconds to go in the first period of play in a 1-1 hockey game. Zimala, now for McKinney. Fed it there, saved by Friedlander, another shot. And Friedlander wouldn't let that go through either. Now for a turnover, backhand shot, saved by Friedlander. Couple of quick shots, and oh boy, they were behind on the shot tallies for a little bit, weren't they? Because suddenly the Falcons got 7 shots, and now it's 16-8, and that actually does match the live stats.
So Falcons starting to pick up their response, trying to string together some offensive possessions. And 46.3 seconds left in the first period. Anything can happen in the sport of hockey.
We've seen a whole bunch of late goals in periods this season. Let's bring up here's Anders Grongstad. Surrounded by Falcons, he'll throw it off the boards, tried the self-pass, but first to arrive there was Sargent, backhanded out of the zone. Now to the near side, Clardy's got the goal for the Lancers, dumps it in from the red line. Held down by Soderberg, stolen away for a moment, but the Falcons had the reinforcements to protect. Stretch pass misses the mark, flashing his sticks, and the puck flies to the near side. Skaggs coming up with 10 seconds to go in the period out of the right wing. Tried to throw it in the direction of the slot, ends up going off a Lancer and on target, and Friedlander's gonna jump on that one.
Some great vision there from Skaggs as he saw his teammate kind of crashing down right into the slot, try to make that pass. Lancer's able to break that up. The goalie able to get a stop there. 6.6 seconds left. We'll see what this face-off can bring us.
Draw to the left of Friedlander. Won by the Falcons. Skaggs with a shot. A redirection goes wide off the stick of Mateo Orme-Lynch. Elouan can't dig it out in time, and the buzzer sounds before the Falcons can get another shot. 17-8 the shots in the first period in favor of the Falcons. But Friedlander holds the fort, and that .928 or so save percentage shines through in the first 20. And 16 saves for the senior from Lake Placid keeps it a 1-1 game through 20 minutes of play.
the history between these teams is so rich. 74 games have been played between these two. Falcons have 48 wins, so Lancers absolutely looking for revenge here, especially after that last game where they lost 6-1. With the game tied up, 2 periods left to go, I mean, the Lancers are absolutely in the running of this game, and they've proven that with their defense, with their offense, the puck possessions. It's just been phenomenal overall.
Yep, that's going back to the 95-96 season. 48-20-6 are the Falcons against the Lancers. The Falcons have won 4 in a row in the meetings between these two teams. Through 1 period of play, the Falcons 5-4-1 when they are level after 20 minutes. Worcester, more often than not, I mean, 10 out of 16 games this year for the Lancers, they're trailing after 20. So only 3 times have they actually been tied after 20 minutes of play. They're 2-1 when they are tied after 20. So interesting numbers there.
Fitchburg's overall record this season, 9-7-1. Worcester State 7-8-1. So close with the standings record-wise. Both teams kind of trading off wins and losses.
Yep, and the Falcons know to get some points here, try to keep themselves above the top 4 line because no buys this year. In the one season that we have 10 teams in the MASCAC, the top 8 make the playoffs, top 4 get the home game in the quarterfinals. So the Falcons definitely want to keep themselves in the top 4. 18 points coming into tonight's game. Worcester State in 7th with 13 points, but the Falcons know every point matters. They can't be affording to drop points, especially to teams that are behind them in the standings.
Absolutely, and they've been known to be one of the top teams in the MASCAC, kind of trading off with them and Plymouth, normally landing either 2nd or 3rd place in the past few years. So dropping this far in the standings is definitely something new to them, but I think their coaching staff, their captains, and the team overall is really trying to turn this season around. You know, they had that 6-game losing streak. They snapped it with that game against Keene where they really looked alive and energetic, and we're going to see what they can do against the Lancers here, but this is a tough competition for them. Once the Lancers start to get hot, they're really hard to stop.
Now the question is, how much will the intermission have an effect on maybe dampening that potential momentum? Lancers definitely were controlling play in the immediate aftermath of that goal, but ultimately 25 shots found their way on goal in the first period and 17 off the sticks of Falcons. And we'll see what the second period brings us. For now, we'll take a break. 1-1 the score through 20 minutes of play. Stick around and don't go too far away. The second period of action is coming up next here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, 1 period in the books between the Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Lancers of Worcester State. 1-1 is the score through 20 minutes of play. Daniel Bolak, Nola Patty here with you, and Travis Falk on camera. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Falcons out shooting the Lancers by a margin of 17-8. But the score level at 1. Hunter Dunn getting the first goal of the game for the Falcons on what was a beautiful wraparound.
Feels like the Falcons controlled the early minutes of that game, and then as soon as the Lancers were able to score their goal, momentum shifted, and then it kind of shifted back again with the Falcons netting 7 shots in just a few minutes. So be interesting to see where this second period can land us, and if the Lancers or the Falcons are going to take charge here.
Absolutely. Brian Clardy had the goal for Worcester State, able to take advantage of a Falcon turnover in their own defensive end. Brigham Newhold was able to get the puck, feed it to Clardy deep in the slot. He made no mistake in picking up his 4th goal of the season. He's a graduate student for the Lancers. They have 2 graduate students and 9 more seniors, a very heavy team up front, and then only 1 junior after that. So after this class filters through, next year's class is going to be a little bit on the young side, but they've got 12 sophomores as well. 26 sophomores between these 2 teams. You could field a team with that. Falcons go from right to left in the second period in the home whites. Worcester State will go left to right in the road blue uniforms. We have a whistle 7 seconds into this frame.
One thing to mention is this starting lineup for the Lancers, every single player has played in the USPHL. So some of them coming from the Northern Cyclones, Metro Jets, kind of all around. So just cool to see that, you know, kind of some of the junior programs that these coaches recruit from, their starting lineup consists of 5 players in the USPHL.
Yeah, and there's a number of those junior leagues that are out there too. So many different options for players. Cookson in the neutral zone, tries to feed it up for Zapata. Now the Lancers taking it back in their own end. Clardy trying to move it near side for Newhold. Lost in his skates for a moment. couldn't really regain possession as Cookson takes on the left side boards. Newhold with a little bit of pressure on him. Now comes to the left point. Here's Nolan Sargent, lost the puck. Just left it at the left point inadvertently. Corsair, and I said the Corsairs again. It's the Lancers as a shot's turned aside by Soderberg. Those blue and gold get you, you know.
I feel like half the teams in the MASCAC have blue and gold as their colors.
Yeah, blue's a bit common in this conference. Meanwhile, the green and gold, the only other team in the conference that has green in their palette is Plymouth, and that won't be an issue in a few months. Shot from the right side by Eloan Orme Lynch, stopped by Wyatt Friedlander. Juggled the rebound for a little bit, but he was able to keep control of it and hold for a draw. 18:43 to go in the second in a 1-1 hockey game.
Friedlander kind of giving up some of those rebounds. Falcons trying to capitalize on that, but he has good support from his defenseman to kind of keep that puck out of the net.
Friedlander also part of a goalie tandem with Jakub Kubik, also a senior. He's from Czechia. I really do not want to try pronouncing his hometown, though. I just have no confidence in me getting that one right.
You know, I should be able to pronounce that. My mom is from Czechia, but I guess the pronunciation didn't carry in my genes.
Lancers bringing up ice on the left side. Zolio shot whistles well off the mark. Can't be held in at the left point. And here's Eloan Orme Lynch. Now dropping off from Mateo in the slot. Shot is turned aside. Now still loose out there. Mateo goes left point. Halbig. His shot deflects off of Dunn's stick and ricochets high into the netting.
Great job there by Friedlander to kind of track where that puck was bobbling. I feel like it hit like 5 Falcon sticks before it ended up in the back of the upper netting.
Also of note for Worcester State, their third choice goalie by statistics, Donovan Alfama, sophomore from Douglas, played for Wachusett Regional High School. He's played in a couple of games this year, and after Friedlander and Kubik graduate, he's going to be the heir apparent in goal. Although one thing to note about him, as the Falcons try to force a turnover, backhand shot stopped by Friedlander, another chance Friedlander there as well. I want to mention Alfama, 5'7", would probably make him the shortest goalie in the conference. You don't see too many 5'7" goalies in the present day, but shows to the ability, all the compete and the drive that a player has to have to be able to play at this level at that height. Now a loose puck going all the way down ice. It comes all the way to Freddie Soderberg. Not going to let Matt Lombardi try to get on that one.
Speaking about the ability and kind of the drive players have to have playing at this level, number 22 in home white, Sammy Rennick, did not play juniors. Came from Triton Regional High School where he was a 100-point scorer. Opted to come to Fitchburg State. Is a senior now. Has been a key player for the past 4 years, and his story's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I remember talking with Coach Fuller about that last year, in which you mentioned that was a player that they sort of got a heads up. This kid's interested in, he went into the workforce out of high school and then was interested in giving college hockey a shot. And so someone dropped Coach Fuller a line and said, get in touch with him. He might be interested in coming to play for you. And that worked out really nice. It was great to see him develop over the years. Now the leading point scorer on the Falcons. 4 goals, 12 assists for 16 points.
Majors in construction management. Some couple other Falcons in the construction management major here.
Nolan Sargent, Jeremy Millette, and Freddie Soderberg all with that major, as here is Rennick on the spot trying to jam that past Friedlander, but he keeps the patches bad. And now a shot from Millette trying to construct a goal, but couldn't get it through all the traffic. Rennick trying to move it along, but taken by the Lancers out of the zone. Clarity gains the red line, dumps in. Down the ice behind the net, Brigham Newhold overskates the puck. Rennick on the near side. Puts on the moves, battling with Sterling Nash. Now from the right point, thrown around the boards. Newhold still waiting behind the net. Just waiting for it to come to him, as now he's fighting with Nolan Sargent to keep control. So we get another board battle, 16:20 to go in the second in a 1-1 hockey game. Done for the Falcons and Clarity for the Lancers, the goal scorers. Here is Nash at the red line, Newhold. Now on the left side to Zolio. Throws it through the slot, off the boards, peripheral with a shot. Goes high over the net. Well executed bounce though off the right side boards, and a great opportunity for peripheral, just couldn't put it on target.
Lancer's doing a really great job of kind of dropping down into that slot and circulating the puck and trying to find open players. But the Falcons defense just really holding strong right now.
Lancer still stuck on 9 shots as the big green board, with about 4.5 minutes gone in this second period. Falcons already have 4 shots in this frame. Cam Quigley up the center of the ice, now to the right side. Quigley shot saved by Soderberg, and an extremely dangerous rebound. Falcons fortunate nothing more came out of that as Chris Zapata comes the other way. The Jersey native throws it through the slot, now on the right side. Drop pass in the right corner. Try to get it back to Jackson Collins. But he's dispossessed. Peripheral got a hold of it. And Christian Halbig just has to throw it back into the offensive zone as teams will change the lines. Luke Friccione on the far side, taken by the Falcons on their own blue line. Now pushing forward, here's Eloan Orme-Lynch. Doubles back on the right side, tries to leave it for Hunter Dunn, cutting towards the goal. But good stick work by the Lancers to take it off of his stick. Now another shot. That was Mateo with the chance. Friedlander may have gotten a piece of it. Mateo Orme-Lynch on the boards to the near side, but lost to the other 17 in Matthew Kowal. Drops off Friccione. Now here's Lombardi. Can't settle on his stick. He's a former Hudson Hawk. Put up a boatload of points with Hudson when he was playing high school hockey. Mateo Orme-Lynch now for Dunn, and Dunn creating a break. Hunter Dunn tries to put it past. Good moves, great save by Friedlander. Belly flopping to the ice and getting that right pad down. Back around the boards, Dunn's got it again. Tries to throw it in the direction of goal, picked up by Mateo Orme-Lynch. Now to the right point, shot, stopped by Friedlander, and he'll hold for a draw. 13:53 to go in the second. Still a 1-1 hockey game, even though the shots are 22-9 in favor of the Falcons.
I've been really liking the Falcons' puck movement in the offensive zone. I feel like they're getting a lot of good looks. It's just Friedlander's being an absolute stone wall right now. I mean, taking away that opportunity from Hunter Dunn, who already has a goal in the night. He's standing tall in net, and that's what this Lancers team needs if they're going to get this win against the Falcons.
Friedlander had a 31 save shutout against Rivière 5 days ago. Got another start today. And he's doing very well in the cage. 21 saves for the senior. Beauvais trying to throw it on goal. Missed the target to the left. Another chance by McKinney, cut down in front. Here is Newhold gaining the zone on the right circle. Thrown in front, and another dangerous chance. One off Soderberg's pads, but couldn't be followed on by the Lancers. It's twice already this period they've tried that move. A couple more shots, and Soderberg able to stop all of those. That's got to be worth putting some shots on the board there. They've only given one thus far.
Falcons defense kind of having a tough time clearing that puck out from right in front of Soderberg. So Lancers getting a lot of dangerous shots, as we saw that one almost go in, kind of graze the top of the crossbar. So Falcons defense trying to combat how strong the Lancers offense has kind of come out.
We mentioned the goal scoring margin, 23-7 in the first period for Worcester State against their favor. They're outscored in every period this year, but it's only 21-17 in the second and only 15-13 in the third. So this is a team that does definitely get better as the game goes on. Meanwhile, the Falcons go from 21-15 in their favor to 19-14 in the second to being outscored 17-13 in the third. And with the style of play and the puck battles against the boards, Worcester State is a team that is built to grind down opponents.
This forward line here with Millette, Milhorn, and Rennick has been a line that has produced so much offensive energy for this Falcons team. I mean, they've been so strong starting in that game against Keene State and just continuing on through these past few games. So hopefully this line can get a point on tonight's game, and we'll see what they can do.
I've always found it interesting how this line is on paper the fourth line. The Lancers had to put their second line on the ice to try to match up, because if you try to go blindly fourth line versus fourth line, the Falcons' fourth line will beat you every time.
And again, that credits to their depth on the team. Coach Fuller has been known to say that they have 4 fourth lines.
Or 4 second
Four
lines.
second lines, rather.
If a team had 4 fourth lines, I don't know. I don't want to know what their record would be. On the right side, shot shouldered away by Soderberg off the stick of Spencer Hecklinger, who is number 19 and listed fittingly on the Lancer line chart as the 19th. For the Falcons, the similar role tonight is being played by Michael Amala. Here's Lombardi on the right side. On the hole, feed. Glulinski with a shot that is turned aside by Soderberg. 11:47 to go, second period. 1-1 is the score. Falcons still out shooting the Lancers by about a 2-1 margin, unofficially 22-11. Still a 1-1 game, and now another save by Friedlander as that's off of him and into the netting.
Pretty full crowd here as the Fab Club, the Fitchburg Activity Board, has created kind of a hockey night at Fitchburg State event. They have a photo booth, free printed beanies, and a raffle you can enter. So a lot of the student body here supporting the Falcons, and a pretty exciting match as we're currently tied.
They're watching a very exciting game, and they're watching their team do well, although they are currently tied. Halbig with a shot, cut down in front. Dunn with a chance, ends up going wide to the right and nobody in white there, but Mateo Orme-Lynch trying to keep that in the zone. Halbig did keep it in for a moment, but followed on. Here's Clardy. Clardy tries to feed Newhold. Would have been prime for a goal there, but he couldn't keep it on his stick. Right side, Newhold a bit around the boards. Too far for Clardy. Grongstad tries to pick it off the left half boards. But the Falcons will take it. Here's Dunn again on the left side. He's been just about everywhere tonight for the Falcons. This third line has looked very, very solid. And now another 2-on-2 as the Lancers have their top line on the ice against the Falcons' third. So we said the Falcons' lines, as they're constructed, really do feel like they exist more on paper and not in terms of actual matchups. And I know Jay Punske, the second-year head coach for the Lancers, knows that he can't just blindly match the lines. Falcons holding it back in their own end. Stretched up to the red line. Mateo Orme-Lynch knocked down to the ice. Here's Dunn. Hooks out to the right side. Now he's played against the boards. Eloan Orme-Lynch, and there's some opening to work with. The bad angle shot, trying to feed it to the left side. Nick Weber on the ice, trying to baseball bat that out of the air. Ambitious attempt.
Nick Weber was out for a few games this season with a wrist injury. Got healthy, came back, and has been an offensive scoring threat for this Falcons team.
2 years ago, Weber led a post team in scoring, then took a year away from NCAA hockey, played at Northern Arizona last year, which is club hockey. As that shot, looking for a redirection on the way, ends up going wide of the cage. Stretched up ice, out of the reach of Brady Carpenter, now knocked back into the Falcons' end. Soderberg will paddle it into the corner. Andrew Wolleson with the stretch up ice. That's sent back, and here's Carpenter again. Had it for a moment, lost it. Falcons going with a 3-on-2, but Weber blows a tire behind the play. Kramer had a shootout goal on Saturday, tried to take it to the goal. Couldn't be kept in by McKinney. He'll have to double back to his own blue line. Kramer dumped to the ice, timing's good there. As Carpenter loses the handle for just a brief moment, but got it back. Falcons forechecking, and now Lancers rainbow it out of the zone. Sargent will take it back in his own end. Lancers have it back with 9:07 to go in the second. Shots 23-12 in favor of Fitchburg, but it's a 1-1 hockey game. Zapata trying to get to that puck first. Riccioni got a stick on it first. Tangle up in the Falcons' legs. That's Skaggs. Tried to pass it up ice, missed the mark. Couldn't get it on Collins Twig. Stretched up on the left side. Now some space to work with, but good play from behind by Skaggs. Getting his stick in the way, and now a chance by Cookson. He's able to get the puck. Has he got the space? Has he got the time to shoot? Target all the way! beat Friedlander, but he beat the net as well. The Falcons just couldn't follow on quickly enough. So agonizing, through the legs and out the other side. Another chance blocked. Lancers have done pretty well to block chances in this second period. Doing really well to wear these shots and help support their keeper. This Worcester team, they average 41 shots a game conceded this season. That's quite a lot, I'll tell you. As the Lancers regain the puck in the attacking zone, shot turned aside by Soderberg. Round to the near side, Reddick. Strong play by the Lancers, tying up the Falcons. Millette trying to feed Collins, or Milhorn rather. But out of his reach. I think there are some tired legs on the ice here as Nozzolio takes it on the right corner. Tries to cut it towards goal. No Lancers really getting where he wants them to. That's going to be kept in by Sterling Nash. But Skaggs will take it off the boards. I think he's been out there for about 2 minutes. Now we have a whistle. And do we have the first penalty of the contest?
I was circling my stats here to bring up that we haven't had a penalty yet. But I think Skaggs took a hit to the head of some sort. Also to mention, he has been playing an outstanding game so far. Just contributing to the offense and then getting back on defense and holding the blue line strong and kind of breaking up some of the Lancers' tries. So the Falcons' power play, currently 16.7, took a dip in that 6-game losing streak, starting to be brought up with these last few games, and Worcester's penalty kill being a 74.1.
Shot from the right side, stopped by Friedlander. Sterling Nash is playing just his 4th game of the season. He goes to the box for the 2nd time this season. Contact to the head, I believe, was the call. The NCAA don't like it when you contact players in the head like that.
It's more of a safety thing, you know, like the sport of hockey is very physical and you're going to get hit, but it's kind of some of those things you just don't want to cross that line, and you will be given a penalty if you do.
Absolutely. Johansson's shot was blocked. He has it back on the point. Looking around. Goes to Toivo Kramer. Kramer shot through a lot of traffic. Stopped by Friedlander. Rebound still loose on the left side. Officials lost sight of it. Puck was still available, but if the officials lose sight of it, that's another safety thing. They can't see it. They have to assume the goalie's got it.
Jack Johansson currently having one of his best seasons of his career in his senior season. Currently has 6 goals and 6 assists. He has been key on the Falcons' power plays. He scored a couple of goals.
One of the team leaders in goal scoring this year. In fact, 2nd on the team behind Nick Milhorn's 8. And 6 goals is pretty good for a defenseman.
Most of his shots coming from the blue line or when he dips down into the slot.
Took until the end of his sophomore year to get his first career goal. Now he's gotten a number in bunches. As you mentioned, Falcons with a 1-in-6 power play, if you will, whereas Worcester State concedes about 1-in-4 power plays this season. We want to put it into the terms of fractions. Diving play by Reddick to keep that in the zone. Drops off for Johansson, holding at the point. Nozzolio was disrupting that shooting lane. Shot turned aside into the right wing corner. Yeah, trying to pin a Falcon in the boards. Now comes back to that right point. Now to the left side, and it's misfired by Eloan Orme Lynch. Right side and another swing and a miss, and that's going to come out of the zone. 35 to go on the power. 5:55 to go in the second period. Still a 1-1 hockey game. Jack Johansson will bring it all the way back behind his own net. Leading the reset as most of the second line is out there. Here's Hunter Dunn trying to split everybody. Hunter Dunn puts it just wide. Oh, that would have been beautiful had that gone in. But still great efforts there by Dunn. Put on the speed boosts. Nearly took it all by himself there. And now Mateo Orme Lynch playing on here. Tries to feed it for Beauvais. Bit too high. Slicked it in by Soderberg. Indicates the penalty is up now to Nash as that's thrown on. Stopped by Friedlander. Rebound still loose. Still everybody scrambling for it. Everyone's got their eyes on the puck. It's still available as it goes to Beauvais. Now left side to the right. Halbig shot blocked Another chance on the right side. Comes out and Cookson. Christian Halbig. He takes the shot. Hit the iron as it goes to the right. Knocked up the air and with the clashing of sticks. Stays in the Lancer end. Sterling Nash gains the red line and dumps in. So much excitement there. And yet still the Falcons couldn't get a goal to show for their efforts. Great opportunities nevertheless. Here's Jeremy Millette. Gains the blue line, tries to throw it towards Friedlander, but all the pressure from behind by the Lancers. And now another board battle in the left wing corner. Two on either side. Look for Gioni as the victor in that one. This pass up for Carpenter though. Falcons pressure forces a dispossession for a moment. Sargent tries to keep it in the zone. Flutters over his stick, now battling for it in front of the Lancer bench. Finally, the Falcons poke it free. 4:05 to go in the second period. Still a 1-1 hockey game. Now a turnover in numbers for Worcester State. Not off the iron! Grogstad's chance kisses the post. We stay at 1-1. And now a shot from the left point. Gobbled up by Soderberg off the stick of Charlie Yacht. And we get a whistle with 3:51 to go in the second.
I mean, you know what they say, the post is the goalie's best friend, and that's kind of proven to be very true tonight, just for both goalies on each end.
And now I see Soderberg thanking the post for their efforts. Growing up as a Penguins fan, was used to seeing Marc-Andre Fleury do that all the time. Always thankful for the post's work.
I love when players have a lot of character to their game. Always makes it fun for viewers.
You bet. Face-off comes to the right of Soderberg. Lancers try to win the draw. Got a shot off, and that's shouldered down by Soderberg. Weber trying to move it along for Beauvais. Kept in the zone by the Lancers, but they can't keep control of the puck. Kramer, his pass goes to Beauvais, and now stolen by Clardy. He's got the goal tonight for Worcester. That pass goes nowhere, and McKinney loses a tire as it goes to the right side. Shot punched away by Soderberg off the stick of Jude Hottie. Now up the right side, Nick Weber in the corner to the right point. Shot blocked. How many shots have Worcester blocked in this period? It's been a number. Clardy temporarily dispossessed. Behind the net for Newhold. He centers, but he finds Beauvais. He's wearing the wrong shirt. So the Falcons will skate that up ice. Weber trying to stay onside with Kramer as he pushes it forward. Lancers trying to catch him on the line change. Here's Lombardi on the right side, saved by Soderberg. There's the third time tonight I've seen in this period that rebound. Bouncing out that far into the slot, but the Falcons able to get on top of it, prevent the Lancers from putting it back towards goal. Mateo Orme Lynch to Jack Johansson, 2:32 to go in the second in a 1-1 hockey game. Eloan Orme Lynch tried to find Mateo, couldn't find his stick, couldn't find the net. Goes into the left wing corner. Lancers keep control. Here's Quigley up the center of the ice. Knocked off his blade. Here's Eloan Orme Lynch. Eloan drops for Dunn. Dunn's shot misses to the left. Jack Johansson in the right corner. Took a wraparound to beat Friedlander in the first period. Maybe he was thinking about it for a moment. Johansson can't keep it in the zone this time. All the way down ice it'll go. Halbig will have to retrieve. Lots of action in this frame. Shots unofficially 10-9 in favor of the Falcons. And how many grade A scoring chances have we seen? No goals in this second frame. Lancers' forecheck has been solid in making it frustrating for the Falcons to gain the offensive zone. They've got everybody in the neutral zone in a 1-3-1. Falcons get to the red line, practically racing there and then dumping it in. But the Lancers able to get it out and skating out of ice on the right side. Now to the left, here's Peripheral. He blows a tire as well. Milhorn can't keep it going. We've also seen so many instances of the puck just going not much of anywhere, back and forth between the blue lines. Nash had to hold up for a moment, as really struggling to get back on his feet was Matthew Nazolio.
Last bit of the play, second period.
Now we're in the final 60 seconds of the second period. as Rennick tried to take it all the way. And also, how many tires have we seen blown in the last several minutes, too? A lot of players losing their edges. They probably can't wait for fresh ice.
I was about to say, I think the ice is getting really choppy out here. A lot of quick turns happening and possession kind of going back and forth between two teams, making the ice definitely not to prime conditions.
Trying to make a move, traction control exceeded. That's happened quite a bit. A 2-on-2 now for the Lancers. The right side, that shot well off the mark there for Matthew Kowal. 15 seconds to go in the period. A shot from the left side is blocked. And now just everybody just trying to belly flop almost on the puck. A chance goes nowhere. 5 seconds to go in the period. Falcons get it out of the zone, not gonna have a chance to do much of anything. Thrown in from distance on Friedlander, would have counted had it gone, but he's able to make the stop there and bring an end to one of the more exciting periods that you'll see that didn't produce a goal. 40 minutes in the books, Falcons 1, Lancers 1.
One thing to mention, we saw our first penalty of this game. That was on the Lancers. Lancers currently average about 10.56 penalty minutes per game. Falcons at 8.06, so almost in the same kind of category feel. Falcons being very disciplined. I know that was something that they kind of struggled with against Plymouth and UMass Dartmouth. So now they've definitely are playing a lot more disciplined now, playing clean, kind of smart hockey. Really great to see. Second period, a little bit quiet. You know, both teams had their offensive opportunities, but goalies standing strong in net, and offense is, you know, kind of keeping the pace of the game the same as it was in the first.
Shots in that second period were 11-10 in favor of the Falcons. 21 shots made their way to Wyatt Friedlander and Freddie Soderberg, and a whole lot more shots either went wide and even more shots were blocked. There were a lot of great opportunities really by both teams. I saw 3 times a shot from the right side that Soderberg was able to kick away with his right leg, only for the rebound to go into a very dangerous spot in the slot. But the Falcons were able to shut down any potential opportunities for the Lancers jumping on top of that. That's something to really watch out for in the third period. But just the fact that Worcester has done so well at blocking shots and really disrupting the shooting lanes for the Falcons, in a sense, it almost feels like 28 shots through 2 periods is low.
I would have to agree with that. The Falcons average about 34 shots on goal per game. Lancers 29.4, so again, kind of close in that category. We'll see if the teams can hit their average tonight. I am assuming they will. I feel like the shots have been rolling in like nothing, especially in those opportunities right in front of the net when either teams are not able to clear that puck out and it just comes shot after shot after shot, which the goalies have been standing tall. It is definitely a hard thing to make back-to-back saves, and clearly they've come ready to show off their skills here.
Absolutely. Friedlander and Soderberg have come to play tonight, and through 40 minutes of play, it's Fitchburg State 1 and Worcester State 1. We'll take a break when we come back. The third period of action coming up next. You won't want to miss it here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, 40 minutes in the books between the Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Lancers of Worcester State. When these two teams met on November the 23rd, it was a 6-1 Falcon victory. This time around, a little more difficult to find those goals. We're tied at 1 through 40 minutes of play. Daniel Bolak, Nola Patty here with you. Travis Falk on camera. Thank you so much for tuning in here on FATV. Shots in that second period, 11-10 in favor of the Falcons. Shots in the game, 28-18 in favor of the Falcons. But Wyatt Friedlander's played a tremendous game for Worcester State.
Kind of a quiet second period. Didn't see any scoring, saw 1 penalty. Teams keeping it pretty clean, pretty even. It'll be really interesting to see who really steps out and shows off in this third period. I mean, the Falcons have a better advantage in the third period than the Lancers do. That's just based on stats, and we'll see who really has it. This is a game of who wants it more at this point.
Yep. Both teams have scored exactly 13 goals in the third period this season, so pretty level in that regard. I'll tell you, the Lancers, though, get pretty badly outshot in the third period, 212 to 136. The Falcons 173 to 165, they get outshot in the third period of play. Through 2 periods this year, level at 40-minute time. the Falcons, only the third time this has happened, that they've been tied through 2 periods. They're 2-0 when it happens. It's also only the third time this has happened for Worcester State this year. They're also 2-0 when it happens. So one of those streaks is getting busted, or possibly both.
Falcons could really use these points in regulation. It could put them above Salem State. They're fighting to keep that kind of top 4 spot right now. Lancers, a few points here and there could really boost them up in the rankings.
Absolutely. The Lancers coming into tonight 7th in the conference on 13 points. The Falcons on 18 points at 5-4-1. The Lancers 4-5-1. Yes, overtime plays a little bit of factor among other things, which is kind of why, even though their records are so close, they're actually separated by quite a little bit in the standings. Wanted to give you an out-of-town scoreboard update. All the MASCAC teams in action tonight. Anna Maria took down Riviere 5-1 earlier today in a battle of the associate members. And so Anna Maria up to 27 points now. And Plymouth State holding on to a 3-2 lead late against Salem State, 2 of the top 3 teams in the conference doing battle. Falcons with the victory is definitely going to gain ground on one of them. So they go left to right in the third period. A loose puck in front as a swing and a miss on the clearing attempt. And now here is that top line of the Lancers coming up by Anders Grogstad's shot is turned aside by Soderberg. He shuts the 5-hole. Now thrown in front on their knees, a shot and a pass. Nothing going for Worcester. Just couldn't get the finish as Collins gains the blue and immediately dumps in. The lines will shuffle. Brian Clarity had the 1 goal for Worcester so long ago. He dumps in, glove down by Soderberg, played on. Stretched down ice that definitely hit a Lancer stick, so it won't be icing. Friedlander leaves it. Sterling Nash, Shane Peripheral to the near side, Charlie Yacht. Rosen into the zone. Halbig first to arrive off the boards. Eloan Orme Lynch had a little bit of trouble settling it. Halbig will go to the near side instead for Jack Johansson, who will go back to Halbig. Play a little bit of keep away. Worcester really aggressive with the forecheck here. But could that bite them here as the Falcons try to come back with numbers? Eloan Orme Lynch drops for Mateo. Can't get the shot clean away. Got it back. And it's deflected into the netting and out of play.
I love the twin-to-twin connection between these two brothers. They don't even have to look where they're passing it to. It just somehow always finds the stick of the other one. I want to go back to what we were mentioning about the MASCAC and Plymouth State, to be exact. They sit at the top of the MASCAC. They do have 1 conference loss that was to Anna Maria. Anna Maria right on their coattails. We know that those 2 teams do have a lot of history together, but Plymouth State was known to be a very unbeatable team, and it feels like this year they're starting to become a little bit beatable. People are starting to get a grasp on them. Anna Maria clearly got a grasp on them. Fitchburg State went into overtime with them, almost won. So they play Plymouth here, Fitchburg State does, in 2 weeks from now on February 13th. That should be such an interesting, cool game to watch.
Craig Russell always brings a very talented team. Where they're going, and here to Fitchburg is no exception. A shot there turned aside by Friedlander. He jumps on that one. Anna Maria beat Plymouth for the 3rd consecutive year that game. So I've joked about it that maybe Plymouth's leaving the conference because Anna Maria's joined and now they don't want to deal with the AmCats anymore.
Anna Maria beat Fitchburg State here on home ice 7-6 in what we thought could have been a Falcons comeback. They scored 4 goals to get it all tied up, and then a late goal with about 35 seconds left. An awkward bounce off that backboard behind Falkenhagen went in the net, and Anna Maria came away with the win. But clearly they're a team that is going to give the Falcons a run for their money, not just this year, but in future years to come. They're such a strong program and have Plymouth State in a chokehold.
Absolutely. Faceoff is going to come down to the left side of Soderberg after the puck was played with a high stick. But yeah, Anna Maria's in their first year playing in a conference. They are not a team you can sleep on. That's turned down towards goal and turned aside by Soderberg. Puck squirts out of the zone. Quigley's got to double back and get to that one. Freshman D-man, Morgan Duglinski. He's pushed into the boards, and now Duglinski with a steal. He gets a shot, turned aside by Soderberg. He had a goal when these 2 teams last met here at the Civic Center as that puck rides the boards into the netting and out of play.
Both teams going to get a line change here, some fresh legs out on the ice. Some of the Falcons' shifts have been a little bit longer than they've liked, but the players well conditioned, able to keep the momentum going as we're still tied here.
Draw to the right of Soderberg. Sticks were down for quite a while. Finally get it, and the shot comes blocked. And another chance goes over the net. Carpenter had that first shot there for the Lancers. Try to get it out of the zone. Worcester's done so well to put pressure on the Falcons wherever they go, not give them much space to breathe. Milhorn tries to throw it into the paint, deflected behind the net. Now from the left point, shot turned aside by Friedlander. Sammy Rennick in the left wing corner, being pinned against the boards by Jude Hottie. And now here is yet another puck battle. 6 players to take part in this affair as it comes to McKinney on the right side. Behind the net, turns into a pass. Rennick tries to throw it around, off a stick, blocked, and now trying to get back is Carpenter. He gets the shot off, stopped by Soderberg. Falcons get to the rebound first. On the right side, Nash dispossessed with a hit. And Rennick knocked down to the ice as Nash hits back there. Falcons will win the race for the icing, so Friedlander's got to come out and play it along to the near side, touch up to the near side for Nizzolio. Gets it past the blue line and not much farther. Falcons send it back the other way. Peripheral, first to arrive on the near side boards. It stops for a moment, dekes out a Falcon. Peripheral still skating with it, goes behind the net, goes to the far side. Falcons will take it away from there, and here's Dunn on the left side. He's got the goal for Fitchburg. Shot saved by Friedlander, another chance picked up by the Lancers. They bring it into the right wing corner. In front, Elouan with a shot stopped by Friedlander. Skaggs on the right side, Mateo Orme-Lynch. Tries to find Dunn just out of his reach. Nolan Sargent will get up ice there. Go behind the net for Elouan. Mateo trying to get there. He's able to take control of the puck. Skaggs calls for it on the right point. Can't hold on to the pass cleanly. He's dispossessed. Sterling Nash up the left side, trying to create space. Lost the puck as it went off of Elouan Orme-Lynch's stick in right to Soderberg. And he'll take no chances with that. 15:38 to go, third period, 1-1 the score. It is now a final up at Hanaway Rink. 3-2 Plymouth held on over Salem State, so the Falcons definitely want to come away with the victory and gain some points. In fact, if the Falcons win this game in regulation, they will jump into third place in the MASCAC. Salem on 20 points entering tonight, and they'll be on 20 points leaving tonight as well.
Definitely would be a great win for the Falcons in the standings, but also to keep this win streak going.
3-game unbeaten streak for the Falcons following on from the 6-game winless streak. As here's Cookson in the left dot. Backhand shot wide of the net. Jackson Collins in the right corner. Dug out for Cookson. Cookson in front, scores! Chris Zapata! Deep in the slot, top of the paint, redirects the pass home. It's 2-1 Falcons.
Unbelievable setup there from Oliver Cookson as he gets his second assist on the season. Chris Zapata just found it out, making something out of nothing there. Falcons are up on the Lancers, but don't go too far. The Lancers were quick to respond the first time. We'll see if they can do it here and tie it up.
The sophomore from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, majoring in computer information systems, adjacent to my major of computer science, gets his first goal of the season. That feels like another one of those. You would have think he would have scored by now. I know he missed a lot of time early in the season, though. As Johansson with a shot, Weber couldn't redirect it home and went off his blade. And now out of the zone, down the ice. Johansson a little flat-footed there, but is able to get to that puck, swung around the boards, kept it at the right point. But a shot blocked, cut down in front. Alexander Bove now at the left side. Having trouble creating the space and time. He's tripped up! The hold will be given, and the Falcons will go on the power play with 14:32 to go in the third and a 2-1 lead.
I love that decision by Bove, continuing to drive towards that net, able to draw the penalty. Lange going to go for the second penalty of the game, and we're going to see the Falcons power play go to work. They were denied on the first one. Second chance opportunity here They've got their unit out here. Keep your eyes on number 18, number 33. Those two have been killer on the power play this year.
9th game of the season for Jude Haughty in his first trip to the sin bin.
That's a penalty, number 6, Jude Haughty, 2-minute minor for holding, time of the penalty, 5:28.
And they almost found Kramer there on the doorstep on the right side. But now a 2-on-1 back for Worcester State. Nozzolio with a shot saved by Soderberg. Rebound scores! Short-handed goal on the follow-up, and we're level at 2.
I said it once and I'll say it again. Do not count the Lancers out of this game. They tie it up just moments after the Falcons scored the goal to put them ahead. We're tied 2-2. This game is far from over. 14-18 left to go in the third period. Lancers with a short-handed goal. Momentum is completely swung in their way.
"47 seconds after the Falcons took the lead, Worcester takes it right back with a short-handed goal. Nozzolio led the handshake line. Would be his 4th goal of the season. Falcons still have a power play for the next minute 30. Jailbreak rule doesn't exist at this level.
The Falcon goal is by number 13, Chris Zapata. Assist number 5, Oliver Cookson, and number 26, Jackson Collins. That goal is
Johansson
4:55.
for Kramer. Kramer shot through traffic. Deflects into the left wing corner for Nick Milhorn.
Lancer goals by number 27, Matthew Nozzolio.
Maybe unassisted there.
29, Sterling Nash.
Now Sterling Nash gets the assist.
42, third period.
Second assist of the season for Sterling Nash for Nozzolio, 4th goal of the year, sophomore from Worcester. Falcons still have 45 seconds to go on this man advantage. Just the 2nd power play of the night. As here's Hunter Dunn. Feeds on the right side, Millett is robbed! Great save by Friedlander.
He has stood tall in the net here for the Lancers. Obviously that goal from Zapata put the Falcons up. But wow, what a gorgeous save there to rob Millett.
So many times we've seen that centering feed for the one-timer going cross ice there. That time, and a number of times we've seen the puck sort of go past. That time though, Millett able to get good wood on it, good positioning. Didn't elevate it all the way up. And it was just a bit too low, and from there, Friedlander was able to get his glove down quickly enough. Dunn on the right side, goes to the point. Here's Halbig. Left side, held at the circle. One-timer again, that's blocked. Nash got in the way, 15 on the power. Millett goes to Dunn. Now the point, Halbig, left side. Shot by Bove is knocked down and sent all the way down. Soderberg ready to flip this down ice. Makes that pass all the way to the blue line. Lancers back to full strength as Haughty's out of the box. 12:25 to go in the regulation time in a 2-2 hockey game. Peripheral, back for Newhold. He shoots and hits the iron.
I mean, how many times have we heard that ding sound this game?
Posts are getting a workout tonight. Shots 37-24 in favor of the Falcons, but we're level at 2. Goals 47 seconds apart for Zapata and Matthew Nozzolio, striking for the Falcons and Lancers respectively. Oliver Cookson backhands it into the zone. Friedlander thinking about playing it on. Decides to take no chances. Falcons will take the draw to one side of the senior netminder.
Falcons have a good opportunity here with an offensive zone face-off. We'll see what kind of plays it can conjure up to try and take the lead, but the Lancers defense holding strong and their offense backing them in that sense.
It's been one of those key factors for the Lancers, is just how difficult they make life for the Falcons. That is redirected wide to the left of Friedlander. It's just how difficult it is to just exist in the zone, basically. They're getting on top of players, tenacious puck battles against the boards. Feels like it's bumper cars just trying to gain the offensive zone. Carlins with a shot. So he picked up the loose puck in the right circle, and Friedlander again with another save. Falcons already have more shots in this game than they had in the first meeting against Worcester State when they had, I believe, 36 shots in that contest. 35 shots, once I do the math. Already 38 for the green and gold, and still 11:38 to play. Isaiah McKinney at the red line, loses the handle on it, but he's able to get it back, loses his feet. Glinski in the right wing corner for the Lancers, back in their own end. Trying to move it up the near side boards. Pass out of the reach of everybody. Falcons take it back the other way. They say Dunn hadn't tagged up when Elawan Orme Lynch regained the zone, so the offside is given.
Dunn was put on a line with the two Twins. They have not been broken up, the Twins I'm speaking of, this season. They've been on a line together. We're playing a line with Beauvais. They called it the French Connection. Now Dunn on a line with them. So interesting line changes made by the coaching staff.
And pass will be given here. And that French connection of three Frenchmen, Beauvais and the Orme Lynches. I did the research last week. If Elite Prospects is to be believed, there's only one other Frenchman in all of D3 hockey. He plays for University of Wisconsin Stout, Noé Perez. And I also joked we can't try to get him in the transfer portal because he's a senior. Now Elawan, as the Falcons were able to gain the offensive zone, shovel it towards goal, but Friedlander stands strong for his 37th save of the contest.
Got some French on this roster for the Falcons. Also a Canadian in Falkenhagen, but other than that, US-born players.
I can't forget Declan Bronte.
Of course.
From Australia. Yes. Scratch tonight, though. The Falcons have been able to, it's like they've been rotating between Sargent and Bronte as that one other defenseman, because really both of them are talented enough to get in the lineup. It's just too many players, and you've got to cut someone for the night somewhere. Only can dress 19 skaters after all. But again, a testament to the Falcons' depth. Puck on the near side in the Falcons' end. Just bouncing around, pinballing around. Peripheral's got it. Gets the shot, he scores! Shane Peripheral tucks it in near side post. And for the first time tonight, Worcester has the lead.
What a great shot placement there. Able to tuck that right under Soderberg's arm, putting the Lancers up 3-2. Falcons definitely a little frustrated after that. No call on the, looked like interference on Christian Halbig. He was trying to race back to play some defense, but the Lancers ended up taking the score anyways.
Now, Lancers third goal by number 7, Shane Preifel. Assist number 27, Matthew Zollillo. Number 29, Sterling Nash. Time of that goal, 9:39, third period.
Zolio and Nash factoring into both third period goals for the Lancers. With the shorthanded goal, they turned it around, and now they are playing with the advantage. Lancers trying to better their position in the standings, 7th coming into tonight. They'd only be 2 points behind the Falcons with the victory in regulation. We mentioned the Falcons come away with the victory. They're going to be right up there with Salem for 3rd in the conference. Big hit behind there by Weber. And that's going to be worth the first penalty called against the Falcons tonight. A check from behind called against Weber.
So the Falcons going to go on the penalty kill here. As we previously mentioned, their penalty kill, they're 49 for 61, sitting at 80.3%. That is 7th in the MASCAC, 46th in all of Division III. So we'll see how the Lancers' power play can match up here.
Worcester has only scored 5 goals in the power play this year, about an 8% efficiency. It's 3rd worst in the conference. There are 3 teams in the MASCAC whose power play efficiency is under 10%.
And thing to mention, there are 87 teams in Division III. Their power play sits at number 82.
It's not great. But you never know with the numbers sometimes. Hockey is hockey. Falcons are able to spit it right down the ice. Falcons do have 3 shorthanded goals this season. Granted, all of them were scored up in New Hampshire. Back-to-back games against Keene State and Riviere. Peripheral on the left side. Picked up by Friccione. Trying to get it back for Peripheral. Pressure there in the left corner. Really interested to see how Worcester will play with the lead. As Friccione goes right point. Shot from Grongstad is blocked. Halbig tries to get it out of the zone. Kept in by Grongstad. Going to the right wing corner. Johansson wanted to blast it around the boards. Ends up going backhand instead. Collins gets the puck on the red line and will flip it down the ice. 42 to go on the man advantage. 8:11 to go in third period. Worcester leads 3-2. Goals by Mazzolio and Peripheral in this third period. So here's Newhold with the shot. Deflects wide. Falcons get to it. Past Friccione. Down the ice it'll go. And Nash getting instructions from Friedlander to play the puck there. Matt Lombardi holding on to it. Pass to the near side for Brigham Newhold. Newhold's dump-in shot is cut down as Skaggs, the other 15, rims it around the boards. Down the ice it'll go. Friedlander will go out and he'll play it. Penalty about to expire to Weber. And now Weber's out of the box. Falcons back to full strength, and here's Zapata. Knocked off the puck there by Carpenter. Lombardi go back for Carpenter on the right side. Now stretch up for Quigley. Quigley trying to split past everybody. Throw it in the direction of goal. Soderberg paddles it away. Now on the left side, Glinski shoots, scores! The Slovakian Martin Dudlinski makes it a 4-2 Lancer lead.
Lancers offense starting to completely take over this game. We mentioned once they start to heat up, they get pretty dangerous offensively. 7 minutes and 5 seconds left. We got a timeout called. There's still so much hockey left to be played. We'll see what Coach Fuller can kind of conjure up with his team, as I'm sure the message on the bench is get more goals.
Of course, you look back at those shots too, the last two were just well placed as the shooter had the space and time to shoot. And for Martin Dudlinski, the senior, with his 4th goal of the season, Worcester has scored 3 times in the span of 7 minutes and 13 seconds and overturned a 2-1 Falcon lead into a 4-2 Lancer lead. But we've obviously seen the Falcons come back with through adversity. I mean, that Anna Maria game we had a couple weeks ago, I think, is the quintessential example.
And I think that game is such a monumental moment that they need to keep in the back of their minds when they're in situations like this. They scored 4 goals. 4 goals in 1 period. They scored 5 goals against Worcester State the first time they played them this season. It is an open possibility if they put their minds to it. They need to focus in here, stop making these little mistakes and little errors, and kind of clean up their play a little bit here.
And pretty much all the goals they've conceded tonight you could chalk up to there being a mistake in one spot that cascaded into something bigger.
Frederick Pennell, number 23, Cam Quigley.
Pennell and Quigley get the assists on the goal by Glinski. 4-2 Worcester State. Here's Mateo Orme-Lynch. His shot turned aside as it went off of a Lancer in front. Now up the left side, Matthew Peckham. His shot knocked down by Soderberg with the glove and had to follow up in the shot, and a backhand chance is blocked. There's another chance for Worcester. Can't get the stick on it and can't turn it towards goal. Floated out of the zone down the ice. Friedlander tells his teammate Jude Hottie, yeah, you can just play that puck there, that's fine. Stretched up ice, misses everything. That'll go for icing. 6:08 to go in the third, and a draw coming to one side of Friedlander. Next game for these two teams, Worcester will be back at home taking on Westfield at 5 o'clock from the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Center. Falcons will also be in action at 5 o'clock on Saturday, February 1st. They go to the Vietnam Veteran Skating Rink in North Adams to take on the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts. You may recall last season when the Falcons and Trailblazers played in North Adams, Dean Fuller got his 600th career victory. And the last two times MCLA has come to Fitchburg State, the Falcons needed 1-0 overtime victories to beat them. The offense was a little more potent in North Adams. The shorter rink might help. Bodied against the boards on the near side. Falcons can't get quite up ice. Nash's shot deflects into the netting and out of play. 5:33 to go in the third, 4-2 Worcester. I want to also mention the MASCAC released the all-academic teams for the first semester. For my count, I think I had 24 out of 29 Falcons.
Yes, they led Fitchburg State in the amount of all-academic members that they had on the MASCAC team. These guys put in so much work in the classroom, on the ice, in the workout room, during their lifts. They are so dedicated to their craft, and it is honestly so inspiring to watch.
Yeah. And it also carries over to the classroom as well. Also, congratulations, Nola, on making the team too.
Thank you.
Nola's a field hockey player, don't you know? She'll be playing women's lacrosse too when the snow thaws. Here's Zapata, round to the left side. Shot gloved by Friedlander, no rebound there.
Friedlander has just been incredible in net. So many saves. He makes it look so easy. He just sticks his glove out there and it somehow is able to end up right in the place that he needs it.
Veteran presence there. You know, we mentioned he's been a 4-year member of this Worcester State side. Tandeming with Jakub Kubik, getting the call tonight. It's been about a 50-50 split this season. Both Kubik and Friedlander are seniors. That'll be a hole to fill for Worcester State, but that's a problem for next season. For this season, though, still two solid netminders for the Lancers as Elowan had it on his skates but couldn't really get it onto his stick. Now it blasts through a lot of traffic, deflects wide. Elowan can't put it home. So many whiffed shots tonight. That's hurt a little bit. Skaggs has it blocked off the legs of Clardy. He had the first goal for Worcester quite a while ago. 4:30 to go in regulation time. The Lancers with the last 3 goals lead 4-2. Falcons trying to force a turnover. Mateo and Elowan both there on the right wing corner, trying to win that puck. Now Sammy Rennick goes to the left point off the boards. McKinney, Rennick holding, turning around. His shot blocked off the skates and legs of Christian Finney. Four minutes to go in regulation. Stretch pass up ice. Jeremy Millette on the left side, trying to feed it into the paint. No angle there. Rennick out to McKinney, now to the left point. Wollison's shot just misses. To an extent, it looked like Friedlander was just guessing, going on a reaction the way that he dove out for it. But fortunately for him, the puck was off target. Let's see how many times has Worcester put 2-3 players in the Falcons' defensive zone, try to force them to make a mistake. They have capitalized a number of times tonight.
That is just purely based on the film that they've done, the knowledge they have about this Falcons team. They have clearly prepared for this match, and they were not going to take that 6-1 loss lightly.
Put it this way, the Lancers gave up 5 goals the first period they played them this year, but since then, they've only given up 3 goals in 5 periods. So that's thrown off the stick of Friedlander. Shot goes wide again. Dead bounce off the Zamboni kick plate. 2:50 to go in regulation. Johansson tries to find McKinney. Falcons defense and everyone definitely playing more aggressively here, trying to manufacture something, anything in the late going. They've been out shooting the Lancers pretty much all night. But Worcester struck 3 times in the third. Up ice, Quigley trying to put the moves on Halbig, nothing going there. Falcons trying to catch the Lancers on the line change. Dunn, left side, Zapata backhand chance, gloved by Friedlander, and he holds the rebound. 2:19 to go in regulation, 4-2 Worcester.
Dunn and Zapata trying to work together, driving that force towards the net, but Friedlander holding his ground, and Lancers defenseman backing him up in that.
Friedlander taking a moment to adjust his equipment, adjust himself here. 40 saves for the senior from Lake Placid.
I just want to point back to number 21 in blue, Collardi. He is the tallest player on the ice tonight, sitting at 6'6". It's incredible height.
Oh yes. Not too many players that tall playing. So hard to find someone who's of that height. On the left side, a shot saved by Soderberg off the stick of Matthew Peckham. Cross-ice pass to Johansson, gains the zone, but lifts it over the glass and out of play. 1:55 to go in regulation. Soderberg at the bench. See where the face-off goes. I think it's going to be outside the zone. And Soderberg asks his team, do I stay out or do I go to the bench? Falcons specifically want the face-off in the zone if they want Soderberg to be, well, they've got 6 skaters on, so they've got to deal with something here. Rennick's going to be the odd one out. He'll have to come to the bench. Face-off one straight back to Soderberg. Would have been an empty netter if, in fact, they had gone for that. But Soderberg will start cheating up ice. Now he'll make his way. Extra attacker is going to be on. 6 skaters for the Falcons. They need 2 goals in the last 100 seconds. Lancers try to arc it out of the zone. It's kept in. Here it is held. And now Nazolio gains the red, takes the shot, misses the mark. Peripheral trying to get from the bad angle, can't get it to go. Both of them have the goals in this period. Peripheral standing as the winner. Nick Weber on the right side, 75 seconds to go. Out in front, save by Friedlander.
He has been phenomenal in net, shutting down multiple Falcons tonight. The Lancers are absolutely playing off of his energy and the saves that he has made to keep them in this game. And their offense has absolutely stepped up to the plate and taken the Falcons by storm.
71 seconds left, 6 skaters on the ice for the Falcons, trailing by 2. Orme Lynch wins the draw to Halbig, holding at the point, sees the labyrinth in front of him, trying to pass out to him, just keeps it on the blue line, takes the shot through traffic, doesn't get all the way through, still loose the top of the paint.
1 minute, last minute of play, third period.
Puck migrate into left wing corner and then a whistle. Think they ruled that somebody used their hand to direct it into the corner. That was against Worcester. They would not be allowed to change in this spot, but their legs are fresh enough they don't really care. Draw will come to the right of Friedlander. Draw battle for, eventually controlled by the Falcons. Johansson shot, save, rebound to the left, but couldn't be pounced on. Falcons from behind the net, Halbig. Left side, Johansson, shot deflects wide. 40 seconds to go. Johansson tries to get back to the left half boards. 2 Lancers there to pick it away. Down the ice, it's gonna go. It will miss the empty net, but not by very much. Burns precious seconds. Elowan gets a stick on that one to kill the icing. As it goes left wing corner, Lancers be more than happy to pin it against the boards, but they'll poke it free. Take another shot at the empty net. That will miss. Red line wasn't gained, so icing called with 14 seconds left. Falcons know the shots have got to come quickly. So the draw comes to the left of Friedlander. 40 saves tonight. 25 for his counterpart in Freddie Soderberg. Draw comes to his left. Eventually controlled by Weber, tries to center, nobody there. Just skates by the Lancers. 5 seconds left. Right point shot blocked, another chance in front. And they score with 1.5 seconds left.
That's not going to do much unless they're able to get something in the next second and a half. So you can see the celebration isn't as sweet as they'd like it to be. But the Falcons not letting the Lancers put them up by 2.
Gonna have to take a miracle shot off the face-off, basically. Win the draw cleanly, and everyone's got to be ready to one-time it effectively. 100-foot shots is going to be what it takes, because what else can you do in 1.5 seconds?
I would like to say there's a lot of hockey left, but there's not much hockey left in this game.
The Falcons are just ready to shoot it straight from the draw. They try it, but the Lancers win the draw, and they win the game. 4-3 the final.
Revenge is so sweet, especially when you're away. Lancers went down 6-1. They were not going to take that this game, as they take the Falcons 4-3 after some incredible saves from Friedlander. But on the other side of the ice, Soderberg held his own. Just unfortunately some mistakes on the defensive end of things, unable to get that puck out, costly, and some costly turnovers. Gives the Falcons yet another loss in their season.
15, Trenton Skaggs, number 12,
Skaggs and Kramer will get the assists on the goal by Nick Weber. It's his 5th of the season, but a bit of cold comfort for the end of the game, and the handshake line showed the mood there. They got the first goal that they needed, but just did not give themselves enough time. And the Falcons fall 4-3. The season series split between these two teams, each team taking 3 points off the other one, and other tiebreakers will have to come into play if ever that's relevant. So the Falcons now fall to 5-5-1 in conference play, 9-8-1 overall. Their 3-game unbeaten streak comes to an end. Meanwhile, Worcester now onto a 2-game winning streak as they jump up to 500, 8-8-1 and 5-5-1 in the MASCAC, so 500 in all the relevant ways. It was a strong performance by the Falcons for much of the game, but just that 7-minute stretch, and really the turning point of the game was that shorthanded goal. You said the power play would factor in tonight, but I think that's not what you meant.
Yeah, unfortunately the Falcons are going to fall short in this game, but honestly, credit to the Lancers and the way they were able to really take back this game. It did come from that shorthanded goal. It just felt like momentum started to push in their way. That late goal with a second and a half left for the Falcons, unfortunately not enough to flip this game around, but doesn't seem like there's any bad blood between these teams as we see a lot of these guys skating off the ice together. The MASCAC, it's always going to be a battle no matter who you're playing. We saw it when Anna Maria beat Plymouth, and we see it when the Lancers beat Fitchburg. It's no matter who you play, it's always going to be a battle, and that's what I think is the most exciting thing about this conference.
Yeah. I know Frey Soberg passed on the prayer circle tonight as he was chatting up with Anders Grogstad. They were teammates with the Metro Jets. Both Michigan natives as well. And there's a lot of camaraderie. I saw Max Macchione and Jakob Kubik exchanging pleasantries, legitimate pleasantries, too. We say exchanging pleasantries as a euphemism for something else, but in this case, both the teams, weren't, there wasn't much heat between them. In fact, only 3 penalties in this entire game as well. A very, very disciplined game between these two sides, but it took that shorthanded goal to turn the tides, and then just 2 examples of a shooter getting too much space and too much time. Shane Perifel and Margaret Duglinski did not miss their marks, and thanks to Weber's last-second goal, almost literal last-second goal, it's Duglinski's goal that becomes the winning goal for Worcester State as they take a 4-3 victory. The Falcons now still on 18 points, but now they may not be in the top. UMass Dartmouth playing the bottom team in Framingham tonight, and a UMass Dartmouth win will push the Falcons below the top 4 line. But there's still a lot more games to play. In fact, still 7 more games in conference. There's still a lot more hockey to go in conference play, and a lot more exciting games to come. And the Falcons, as we mentioned, they've got MCLA on Saturday night. One of the best goalies in the conference in Matt Gover that they're going to have to face. But nevertheless, an MCLA team that's been scuttling a little bit, and there's an opportunity there for the Falcons. The team, MCLA, after all, has only scored 31 goals from 17 games this year. That's an opportunity to pick up some much-needed points.
So we'll see if they can complete the task on Saturday. They're back home on the 8th with the Hockey Day in the Berg, celebrating the Jake Tebow Foundation. His story, incredible. He came to speak to the athletic program, the student athletes just last night. Hearing his story was so inspirational, motivational. Jeremy Millette, a close friend of Jake Tebow, so we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more. The Falcons have a lot to play for then, but they got to get through these next 2 games before we can reach that night.
MCLA on the 1st and Framingham State on the 6th. And I think it's fair to say that's 6 points the Falcons desperately need to take.
Absolutely, and I think they can get it done. It's just a matter of if they're going to step up and play the Falcon hockey that they know how to play.
Absolutely, and then as you mentioned, on the 8th, Salem State, and on the 13th, Plymouth State, and we'll have those games for you right here on FATV. But for now, we'll sign off here. Final score for the final time, Fitchburg State 3, Worcester State 4. For Travis Falco on camera, for Nola Patty, I'm Daniel Bolak saying thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you next time. Until then, so long from Fitchburg.